Hello, welcome to episode. Hang on a second. Hello, and welcome to episode 12 of Japanese. Today we're going to be talking about staying inspired as an artist or a creative person. Fit check. Today we have the sambas, the jeans, the red jacket, black tee, and the welding glasses. Simple stuff, essentials. I was wearing just a black tee earlier today. Today was a relatively quite busy day. Been out and about. Just a black tee and the jeans, it kind of goes, you know. Also, no mustache. That's the worst part of all this. You know, it's the biggest change. That's the thing I'm trying to adjust to. How we doing? I kind of just went through that, but yeah. No mustache. Finished shooting for First City that wrapped, so we're all in the edit now. Very fun, exciting, scary as well. It's gonna be a little bit stressful, but I think we'll pull through. Into the Woods is about to get crazy. We have like a week and a few days, and then we'll be in Tech Week, and then the show will happen, and then it'll be finished forever, which is crazy. And I'm in talks with CPK/museum about the project, which I'm very excited for. I think that will take up the most. That'll be my biggest project. That's like a collaboration with an organization over the next year, for this year at least, for sure. Very exciting stuff. Ooh, I just realized I've never got that before. A shot of there's a wind turbine. I guess I'm always facing like this way. That's crazy, I've never got that shot before. It's gonna be in views next time, for sure. So yeah. Staying inspired. Obviously, this is like, if you're a creative person or an artist, your creative spark or your inspiration or just your mind is your most important tool, most important resource at your disposal. Staying in the correct headspace and being inspired and having that drive. Obviously, there are other factors like discipline and hard work, but for the most part, it's really just staying inspired to want to keep on rolling, keep on burning, keep the fire going. And so I'm gonna propose a few things that I feel like have worked for me, and the way I stay inspired. Maybe it works as advice. Who fucking knows? Yeah. And so I feel like the two main. I'm gonna try and split it up into two things. Probably be more, but number one is how you live, and number two is how you consume. But they're obviously intertwined. How you live is like, in terms of like staying inspired, is that I feel like, at least for me, like being curious about everything, like literally everything, is one of the easiest ways to like be always learning something new. Because ignorance is bliss, but ignorance is also boring. Because you don't discover anything. Ignorance is like works for certain things. Like if you wanna like keep a clear mind about fucking certain goals, then that's fine. But like staying curious, staying fucking inquisitive about everything, whether it's like, let's say like you are a graphic designer and your fucking friend who's doing fucking architecture as a degree is like yapping about it. You got to ask questions. You got to be like, so what does that entail? You know, what's it like? What skills are you honing? You know, what's the vibe? You know, because I feel like a lot of artists want to do everything, but also there are a lot of people who are scared to broaden their horizons, because like starting is always the hardest part. Holy shit, it's really cold. Sorry. Starting is always the hardest point of the process. It's anyone can have an idea for something. But like the main thing is having, you need to actually seeing something through is really difficult. That's what requires the stamina. That's what requires the endurance, because you need to stay inspired when you're not inspired, which is difficult. And so you need to have like safeguards, and so living in an inspirational way or in a creative way is like allowing as much of your life to be like free flowing and fluid enough to be creative. This kind of starts off probably with like routine and your working environment, or like your living arrangement, or your space. Your space, yeah, okay, your space. That's like header 1 of living, I suppose, or header 2. You have staying curious and your space. My bedroom is basically my lab, it's my spaceship. I have many names for it. It's the spot, I have my new PC, but the main thing is when the room is clear, my mind is free to roam in the best way possible. As in, like, when the room is messy, okay, it's not like fucking dumb shit. This is like very straightforward. It's not like fucking rocket science. But when I clean my room or commit to like not allowing clutter to accumulate in the room, it reflects my headspace often, because like I have enough clarity to commit to cleaning the room. And I wake up and I don't have to do all this shit because it's already in a good condition. And having a routine in terms of like, these days I wake up between 7 and 8, which is good, very good. My sleep schedule is one thing I need to fix up, but with regards to once again life or routine or whatever the fuck it is, with inspiration, every now and again you'll get a burst of inspiration, but it's at the wrong time. And what helps is having materials that allow you to transfer your ideas in the purest form possible. For me, that's usually voice notes. If not voice notes, then just the notes app on the phone. We talked about this in, like, we filmed the episode already, but it'll come out after this one, the one with, oh fuck, it won't actually. Okay, episode 15 with Zach and Lucas is coming up, and we talk a little bit about like inspiration and writing down your ideas and shit. But yeah, having a means of recording, having a means of recording your stream of consciousness is very important. It doesn't need to be as in depth as like a journal or a diary, but I find that helps often. I feel really out of some people than usual. I'm doing it earlier than usual. Anyway, sorry, getting off track here. We've been like I've done a lot of guests in like the last few days, and we've had brilliant conversations. So I'm back to like just the solo dolo. Feels weird. Feels good though. It feels right. Not right. I mean like it still feels fine, because this is how it usually is. It's just strange, You become self-aware again. Overly self-aware. So there's that. Having a clear space. But like what I'm trying to say is like your environment needs to allow you to essentially explore anything. My bedroom is great because obviously I have the computer, and pretty much anything I would need to do is there. But I also have enough space to bust out the sewing machine if I want to sew something. If I want to like fucking spread out all around the fucking floor notes and shit, like obviously depends on your circumstance, but like because it's a room I share with my brother, it's pretty spacious, and there's nothing on the floor apart from our beds, obviously. And so there's that kind of good amount of space. And it also helps for exercise. I exercise in my room. I don't go to the gym. I'm not saying don't go to the gym. I'm just saying like, I don't know what I'm saying. Stay healthy. I guess. But fucking. Oh, this feels weird. I have no mustache. The mustache is really living rent free in my head. You know. He's like, "Why did you shave me off, man? Why'd you shave me off? Why'd you do that? Why'd you do that?" Okay, let's go to consumption. I feel like it might have been better to start with consumption, but okay. How to consume as an artist. Basically, just be open to anything, and kind of like the way you treat life, you should treat art, which is with appreciation and curiosity. Although sometimes this does not ruin, but it changes the relationship you have to art. I've definitely found like people in pretty much any walk of life, any career or practice will say that like the illusion of something kind of goes once you know how it works, or once you start to figure out how it works. But the beauty of most arts is that there's so much to learn, and there's always something more to learn. An example of like the kind of illusion being lost is like when you start, like let's say you start producing music, which is what I did when I was like 2013 turning 14 was when I started producing, and so like for 6-7 months 8 months straight I'm just learning new shit, and it's, you know, that kind of curve of knowledge. But when you start listening to music after you know how it's made, it completely changes the way you hear music, and so the relationship to inspiration completely changes, because you're trying to figure out how music you love was made and how you can replicate or represent the same feeling, or just understand what it meant. Now, also, cross multidisciplinary cross inspiration. I can't think of a name for this. But basically, crossing artistic practices. Like, there are filmmakers who make films that look like paintings. There are artists that make songs that sound like movies, you know? And this is a great way to find inspiration in a non-conventional way, in some way, shape, or form. You know, just as a, I guess, I don't know, fucking insight, my next musical project is going to be entirely in black and white. You don't know what you're thinking. Kofi, music is sound. How can it be in black and white? But it was maybe November, December, and I was like, whatever I do next is gonna be this. It was actually before. The reason I know when I came up with this idea, when I started thinking about the idea, is because I came up with it maybe like a month before Chromacopia started to roll out. So this is probably September then, something like that. And I was like, my next project is going to be black and white, and I need the music to feel black and white. I don't fucking know how, but I want it to be as dark as possible. And I have it in my head. But that's kind of one of the struggles of being an artist, is having an idea and getting as close to the original thought you had in your head, or the best version of it. Which is what I think I'm personally always going to be striving towards, is getting my projects to be as close to the dream as possible, you know? But yeah, it's gonna be in black and white. Obviously the visuals, I know they're gonna be in black and white, but I want it to actually sound black and white. That doesn't necessarily mean old, but what is a great, especially as an artist, is to be in a place of uncertainty. If you're like certain, and like you know for sure what's gonna happen, if you're like in the midst of a project, something that's great because it means you have like a very clear-cut plan. But if you're in the discovery stage, if you're still in the exploration for something, which is what I am, I'm in the kind of R&D phase, I suppose, of this album. I haven't really made any songs. I've made a few demos that could end up on the album, but it's purely exploration work, which I think is also underappreciated, especially in the mainstream. I think people are, there's like this, I don't know, illusion or preconception or assumption potentially that every artistic project is very linear and starts out with an idea and then gets developed and then you start making it and then they finish it. But that's often not the case. Sometimes you'll like make half of something and it'll be for something completely different. And then you'll realize it's for something else. Okay. I'm completely yapping. Holy shit. Okay. I was making a bunch of songs last year just for the vibes. And then I realized that they basically fit the sonic language that I had outlined for a project. And so this kind of like the subconscious of an artist, the subconscious mind of like you as a human being often will do shit for you without you even realizing, and you'll notice a little way later, oh shit, this like completely fit in, despite the fact I didn't intend it to. I'm really, this is a real yapper. I guess it's probably just because I'm by myself I feel strange again. But it's good. It's good. We're gonna be alternating. It's gonna be like one episode me, one episode guest, until there's no more guests. But we'll see. So cold, so cold. Still loopholes I use, nobody knows. Where does I go? Still loopholes I use, nobody knows. Rolls Royce pull up, black boy hop out. Shout out to my brother, MSG sell out. Okay, sorry. Inspiration. Staying inspired as an artist. I'm gonna try be more anecdotal and pull from myself instead of trying to be like a fucking like a guru, you know. The way I with inspiration, usually the primary inspiration is music, I would say, for most things. Music is kind of like my anchor point, my soul, the soul of everything, the heart of everything. I'm trying to figure out hang on. I'm trying to figure out, because every now and again I'll like lose the creative spark, and then what the fuck is okay. Sorry. Wow, it must be horrendous to listen to this podcast, you know? I just make it, I just talk, but you know, you have to have the patience to listen to me not make a point, like spend 25 minutes making 45 sub points just to finish this one point. Okay. If I'm working on an album, I will have an inspiration playlist for the album. I did this for my last project, like last full length one, for allow me to introduce myself. I had an inspiration playlist, and I'll add to it when I have an idea for a song based on what already exists, because obviously the thing with creating something new is that it doesn't exist yet, so you need to find the closest thing you can. But it also is about like the kind of mental pathway that it creates in your head, in your brain, to remind you of what you wanted that was adjacent to the song that you put in your playlist or whatever. And so when I'm making songs, or not making songs, playlists, it's basically just a sonic mood board. That sounded better than I feel like it was. I feel like it was a very simple thing to say, but okay. Anyway, this goes for a lot of things. When I was working on when I'm working on a project, I'll also, like, the second I've made a demo for it, I'll listen back to it because I need to spend time with something to be comfortable with it. And if it holds up after like a long-ish period of listening to it, I will finish it or find that it's releasable. The only time I kind of break that rule is with reverb stuff. My songs, which are almost always made at like 2 a.m., 3 a.m., and they're like very hazy, very dreamlike, and rather incoherent. But they're a different. That's like a different kind of music I'm making. It's obviously exploration, but it's like I'm making it more to depict an emotion in its like raw form. When I'm doing a capo stuff, it's meant to be more kind of premeditated / thought out and careful project or body of work. That's why I post fucking once a year. With film, I just watch and watch and watch and watch and watch and watch. I was having a discussion with Conrad after we filmed our podcast, and he was telling me that he feels like what's good about him is that he really hasn't seen that much of like what you would call like really influential films or stuff like that, and it allows him to be like more pure, which is true. It's like everything's a double-edged sword, but it's really about you and your sensibilities as an artist, because obviously there's this thing of the subconscious where even if you see something and you're like, ooh, then you wait like a week. If it's still in your head and you come up with an idea and you think it's original, but then you like go back to the thing and you realize, oh, that's just basically a ripoff of this thing. It's really about using your sensibilities as a creator to distinguish between what's actually original and what is derived. And for me, as long as the intent is pure and it is distinct, it's fine. Someone else's opinion doesn't really matter as long as you yourself are confident and have a pure intention with your work. Because I feel like allowing your work to be diluted by someone else's opinion of it is kind of, it's reductive. It's reductive, you know. So yeah, my attitude to if it's something that I understand already, I would go into the ideation process where I'm thinking of new ideas raw as possible and just go straight from nothing. But if I want to explore something that I don't know enough about, I'm going to go into the research mode, watch films that depict it, watch fucking, I don't know, documentaries or fucking video essays, or read about it. When I say read, I mean online. I'm a bookie, unfortunately. So yeah, I feel like research and inspiration go hand in hand because you can get inspired from finding out new stuff. In terms with regards to social media, I am glad that I'm no longer like completely active on social media, because it felt like it was too much. And that's the thing about consumption, is that there has to be a balance. I would say probably you should be creating or working on something 50% of the time. Spend 30% of your time researching or consuming secondary work, and then like 20%, oh no, I just said 20%, and like 30% just thinking. That can be about anything. That could be about life. That could be like referencing. That could be like fucking connecting what you've seen to what you're doing. That could be evaluating. That could be listening back to what you've done and figuring out where it needs to go, what it's missing. But like, that fucking percentage thing was made up on us. I've not thought about this at all. Oh yeah, consumption. There has to be a balance. And so yeah, sorry. I basically consume in my downtime. And I think that's the best way to do it. Unless you are completely uninspired, then watch something that you know is going to inspire you. Or you've heard is great. Or something that you are yet to uncover. I find it's best to watch something new. I usually don't retread anything anyway. But the biggest mistake I usually make when I'm uninspired is listening to things that I've been inspired by in the past, because it almost never works. I remember when I was kind of like dead inside after working full time for a while, I was listening to like Igor or listening to T-Bab, and they're great bodies of work, don't get me wrong, but I wasn't feeling like the burst of inspiration that I would feel when I listened to them in like the flow state. And I think and again, something new is always great. And there's all these resources out there. You have Discover Weekly. There are so many Instagram accounts that are dedicated to just like sharing stuff and recommending you stuff. Pigeons and Planes, Saving Connie. With regards to fashion, Bliss Foster is one of my favorite like fashion information people of all time. Fashion Roadman, I think. Fashion Lover 4. Very, very smart names. Fucking Thread. Fuck. Oh my god, no, I can't. Unthreaded? It's not Unthreaded. Fuck. I'm really annoyed that I've forgotten their name. British guy. Very fucking brilliant content. Threadomatic? I don't fucking know. Something. Just always be learning something new, because you can only add to the roster of knowledge. And discussing. That might be a better thing to put in that 30%, or 15% thinking, 15% talking. Because I find that sharing your ideas, especially when they're in their formative stage, so long as you trust the person you're telling to be as pure as possible in the responses. But sometimes it's bad. Sometimes it's good to talk to someone about your idea, because you can hear it outside of yourself for the first time when they tell it back to you, or when they start asking questions that you never thought about yourself. You start to see the holes, and that's sometimes the best part. The best part of the exploration process. And I find it to be very helpful to discuss with my contemporaries ideas when they're still in their in their formative stage. I have to go soon, because I'm at the back in the museum. Oh shit, yeah, I need to go. So word of the day is bin. And shout out to every bin man out there, the bin collection people. Thank you very much for watching. Way shorter than usual, I think. I'm not sure. I actually don't know. I've been looking at my watch, but like I don't remember when we started. So Probably like a 20-minute one, I'm not sure. But thank you very much for watching. We got a long episode coming next. It's like a 1-hour one with Conrad. Should be very fun. Love and guidance. And I'll catch you next time. Stay yapping.